Don't film this.
It's cool.
Come on and stand up. Show us what you're made of. Pick up the guitar. You are a rock star. Shut up and play.
What am I doing? Okay, alright.
Come on and stand up. Show us what you're made of. Pick up the guitar. You are a rock star. Shut up and play.
Dang, slap it.
And play. Shut up and play.
Shut up and play!
That's not how it goes. Is it? Oh yeah. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Shut up and play!
What steps go into preparing for a gig?
Oh, there's lots of steps that go into preparing for a gig. You have to form your band if you don't already have like a set band. And then, step 1, form a band. Step 2, send the band all your songs and so they can know what songs you're going to be playing. And they can listen to them if they're on SoundCloud or if you have like, okay, cut that out. And then step 3, you have to type up, if you don't already have them, if you don't already have them typed up, you have to type up your lyrics and chords. So you type up chord sheets, and you have to print out one for every member of the band, except the drummer, because drummers don't play chords. Step 4, schedule some practice times, and you should probably schedule practice times, like start practicing a month before the gig is what I would suggest, and not a week before the gig.
A lot of practicing goes into preparing for a gig. You know, stuff like planning practices and making sure everyone knows their part. And with my band, it's a little bit different because we practice all the time. Like we literally have like 3 practices every week to work on separate things that go on with the band. Like Monday's vocal practice, Tuesday's full practice, Thursday's rhythm section practice. But I know like a lot of the other bands here, like before a gig, it's more kind of crunch time because they don't have like weekly practices. What are you doing?
Chris, you didn't do that.
What steps? Well, the first thing, probably scheduling practice times. That's probably the most important thing, which we don't really do that enough here. We kind of get yelled at for that a lot. Being prepared for the rehearsal. That's also really important. Like, listen to the songs before you come in, knowing the chords, knowing how the songs go. So that way you can just get through the song and then work on all the other important details when you're actually in the rehearsal.
Hey.
That's really hard.
Usually the week before the gig, like the week of the gig, is the most stressful because you realize that it's sooner than ever and you're probably not prepared.
Do that again, that was sketchy.
Wait, do the
I almost
breakdown.
saw the camera, but then I forgot. Oh, I do that with you?
Good job.
Once you are tight with your band, you have to work on like additional things like dynamics and transitions and backup vocals, and there's just a ton of work that we put into our gigs.
Okay. End the interview.
You have to kind of choose who your bandmates are, make some decisions to who you need in your band for a certain gig, because sometimes you might have to change up. You gotta pick out outfits, because you gotta look good.
You gotta look hot as hell.
Shut up.
No,
This is my
I'm gonna cut that out. No one's
You gotta
allowed to
look
talk.
good. auditions to get different musicians, and none of them knew the song, so it's kind of like difficult to have to send everyone the song somehow, because some of them weren't finished, and I didn't have all the lead sheets written out because I didn't play guitar for all of them, so I had to figure out all the chords and do all that stuff, and it was really difficult. And then after I did all that, like, the band got together, and like, it was so hard. No one knew the songs, and it was like just so difficult because like I was about to explode. Oh, it sounded like really bad. But now it's okay because we all practiced and we got together and did all the steps.
Yay. Okay.
And just to make sure you're comfortable with it, because the more comfortable you are, the more entertaining you can be.
How as an artist do you prepare for a gig?
Well, what Anthony told me is that before I go on, like, I could do this like 30 minutes before I go on. Like, say I'm at a gig and I'm sitting at a table eating or something, like watching other people perform. What he tells me to do is rehearse the entire show beginning to end in my head. And that actually helps a lot because it helps you figure out what you want to say and make sure you know the order of everything, and it helps you with segues and stuff. And, you know, in practices, he also tells us to work on starts and stops to make sure that those are tight, because those are really important parts of your songs.
This week's episode is about getting ready for upcoming gigs, how we prepare, and what goes on behind the scenes
Please
of
read
the gig. This week's episode is all about getting ready for our upcoming gig, how we prepare, and the scenes that go on behind it of the gig.
Read it again.
Trying my best.
Read it again.
This week's episode is all about getting ready for the gig and preparing, and this week's episode is all about getting ready for the upcoming gig, how we prepare, and this week's song recommendation.
It's a different thing. Anything else you want to say to the camera?
Stay happy.
Hell yeah.
I hate you.
That was unnecessary.